history of this country is written, people will remember that this party chose to exhibit the best of our values by coming together once a year to remind us that as much as we are in the business of making lives better, as much as we are in the business of doing things for people, that first and foremost we are what? Family. And when families come together, families get the chance to see people that they haven't seen for a long time. Families get the chance to be able to catch up. Families get the chance to be able to plan together for the future. Families get the chance to be together and to claim solidarity as a family. And we do this on the birthday of Grantley Adams, one of our 11 heroes. And my friends, I ask you to remember this because this is where it started for us in 2008. And we have gone elsewhere last year. And before that, COVID kept us apart as a family. But there's a metaphor in today and in the picture of today with all of the thousands of people here on the East Coast. We may not yet be where we want to be, but we are back on the road and getting there one by one, step by step. And you and I know that everything may not be all that we want. But when we look at the rest of the world, and when we look at what we have been able to do with little, when we look at the fact that we have been able still to remember to give 3 wage increases in 6 years when the last government gave you 1 in 10, when we look and see what we are doing to be able to make sure that we bring our services back together. Santia warned me that we come down here from pure nylon roads, and we all know that. But my friends, ours is not about boasting. Ours is about staying the course. And I remind you of the achievements, not because we want to boast, but because you must remember that what you put in, you get out. When you plant, you can reap. And therefore, it is important to know that when you work the hours that you work, when you put in the time canvassing, when you put in the time doing the policies that we need to do, that there is light always at the end of the tunnel. And that the example of our heroes, the example of sacrifice, the commitment to excellence, the ability to see people, hear people, and feel people. Do you know why I use those 3 words all the time? Because too many people in our world and in history look at somebody and don't see them. Look at somebody without a voice and don't give them a chance to have a voice. Look at somebody and don't feel the pain that they're going through. And we as a party, after 86 years, we are committed to making Barbados the best place it can be. But it can only happen when we do so together as one people and one family. I want us to remember that not every day is as bright and sunny as this. We know what it is to have showers, scattered showers and heavy showers. But we also know that in spite of the showers, that we prepare for it and we come back and build again. This is a season of planting for our country. And I've been saying that over and over. It is not the time to reap as we would like yet. But as we plant, as we build, as we create opportunities for people, then you will be able to reap from them. And I want to remind us that it is not everybody who starts a journey with you that can finish the journey with you. And it happens for all kinds of reasons. That is life. You're born, you know some people, you move on, you got some there, you don't have some there. Some do it for good reasons and some do it because they want to be able to push themselves up. You can be the judge of who want to push yourself up. You can be the judge of who is a workhorse and who is a show horse. That is for you to determine. I did not call nobody rat. What are you calling that for me for? Left that talk out of my hair today. I only see people in here, I don't see the rats. But I want to remind us that the most important lesson we can take from our heroes is to stay committed and stay united. Work horse. I use that phrase deliberately because there are a lot of people who like to cut show. But this country does not need show now. This country needs people to roll up their sleeves and to be workhorses, to build, to plant, and to make sure that with all that we have, when we work together, that we can do it, because the world in which we live is not one that we get to make. Not one that we get to make. You already see what is happening when we come together and decide that we can make a difference. And the message that I want today is to the family of the Labour Party, more than anything else, to the family, because you will get out what you want, what you put in. And when you work for something, you will get back your reward. And that is a simple message because that was the example of so many of our heroes. And the other example of Rihanna and Sir Garfield Sobers, who are our two living heroes, is that there must be a commitment to excellence. And when I tell you about seeing people and hearing people and feeling people, Rihanna is one of the best examples of it. Rihanna is not where she is because she's the best singer in the world. There are others who can sing as good or better. But it's the combination of what she did. When she went and created a lingerie company, she didn't say it was only for bony, Coke type bottle shapes, because half of us will be out of it. Let me go real. But she saw everybody and she made lingerie for every shape and size, whether you're an amputee, whether you are disabled, whether you are fit, whether you are a Coke bottle, whether you are plump, it didn't matter. She saw you and she has made something for you. And when she did it with, that's right, Gabberts, and when she did it with makeup, she didn't say, I only making it for people that got a certain complexion. She remembered what it is to be a Bajan. And she remembered that in Barbados, the biggest thing that we quick to say, dying fair, dying fair. And what dying fair mean? That we see people and that we don't feel that nobody should be the subject of injustice, that nobody should be unfair. So that when all these companies making makeup for people that got a certain complexion and left out the rest, Rihanna said, no, let me make it for every shade and every complexion. And I want that message to go home today to the people of this country. Because more than anything else, it is a lesson. See people, hear people, feel people. I make the point all the time that it is not always easy to do the things, and that is one of the things, to do the things that matter, because life is about sacrifice sometimes, and life is about making room for others. It's not everything that you want or must have that you can do to the exclusion of everybody else. And I therefore want my friends, this party, to continue to remember that we are on a journey. And that journey requires us to plant. The journey requires us to see people, hear people, and feel people. The journey requires us to be committed to excellence. That is what Gary Sober says. You know when they tell that somebody's a goat? I say, what does goat talk is? Goat simply means greatest of all time. And I remember this because right now we have with us two people that the world, not Bajans alone, have said that are the greatest of all time. And we go further. In a month's time, we will be welcoming the world to Barbados, not true? And we are going to have more people here in the month of June than we would normally have. And when people come to your house, what you going to do? Be on your best. Keep the place clean. Be sure that you welcome people. If you see them going down a one-way street, tell them, no, darling, you gotta go the other way. And you tell them in how? A polite manner, not true? And we are going to have the world here. But you know what makes Barbados special? I don't know of any other country that is getting to host, that is our size, 166 square miles, that is hosting for the third time a global sporting event. Do you understand what I just tell you? You have that at Lord's in England. You got that at Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia. But Kensington Oval will now host not once, not twice, but how many times? And what is the importance of it? That when those people are on an island, what are they doing? They're eating, they're drinking, they're driving, they're enjoying themselves, they're staying in hotels, they're sending money and spending money all around so that everybody in here can have a good time. And when we finish that, we have other events coming throughout the year. And next year, when I think you see people here yet? Next year will be We Gathering. Next year, April, will be the month of We Gathering and the month of St. Joseph. So you know where we're coming back on April 28th next year? And if you think we got people here, we will be welcoming not just the family of the Labour Party and the family of Barbados, but we will also be welcoming the families of St. Joseph who will be coming home for We Gathering in the month of April. So when I tell you that Barbados will continue to be a buzz, and you know who is buzz? Tell me who is buzz. I can't hear you. Who is buzz? I can't hear you. Who is buzz? I can understand why the man on the other side now say he don't think that is a buzz, cause he don't even know how to deal with B or D or anything now, because he don't know whether he in or out, up or down. But they tell me cockroach don't get it for got business, so let me shut up my mouth. Not to Gabex. So my friends, I want us to recognize that what we are doing, we must do together as a family. And the values that I've asked you to remember: see people, hear people, feel people. Because if we do that in our personal day-to-day life, if we do that in our house, if we do that in our church, if we do that in our community, if we do that in our country, Barbados will be the best place for all of us. And it will only happen not because I get on a platform and say so. It will happen when all of us start to live that, to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.